Hello and welcome to the Knock On KCLR Sports Weekly Rugby Podcast. How's it going? We've got Tom Crotty and Paddy with us today.
Hey Stephen, how are you doing?
Nice, Stephen.
How's it going? We're recording this on a Friday, so it's the night after the French match. Really unusual. Not since the 40s or 50s or something, since Ireland played a match on a Thursday night. It was weird out because you're trying to actually base your whole day around it, and in my case trying to get chaps to bed at the right time and be down for the match and all this stuff. I was mad. Anyway, it's a bit of a crazy one.
Yeah, it was hard to get used to it, all right. And I was talking to our people who were the French found it very hard to get used to it, but still they arrived in numbers and the atmosphere was very, very good, so it didn't affect the atmosphere in the Stade de France anyway.
Yeah, we've had plenty of talk off air, lads, about that match, but a lot of improvement needed, I suppose. But we'll concentrate on the local stuff here. We don't have James with us this week, but we do have yourselves. So whichever one of you want to go first.
I'd say Paddy goes first because he had a game. We had no senior game, so
you
had a senior game.
Absolutely. Paddy, you were out up against your nearest and dearest neighbours. I suppose you call them neighbours. You know, they're the next county over, I suppose. Wicklow, and a draw in that one.
Yeah, neighbours is right, because we certainly have a lot of history, as Carlow has had with them in recent years, and we've been in the same division as them and come across them in the cup and everything a good lot in recent years. So certainly it has a derby feel to it every time we play Wicklow now. And we spoke a lot last week about the importance of this game. And just to recap on the build up to it, it was certainly 3 matches left now, and it's looking like Wexford will come out on the bottom. So it's between a tie Wicklow and ourselves, Tullow, to try and one of those 3 would probably end up in second from bottom, and that's the position we're trying to avoid, because as we said here last week, with the likelihood of Malahide coming back down from the AIL into Leinster, it would mean that there will be probably 2 teams going down, or certainly one and another in a playoff against the second team from the top in Division 1B. So a bit of a dogfight, so as it looks like, between a tie Wicklow and Tullow. And I said last week that we really needed to win this match, but knowing still that even with home advantage, it was still going to be not too easy, because there's never much between us. And so it turned out to be. So as you said there, we ended up on a draw. Unfortunately, they got a penalty with the last play of the game to draw level to us. So both teams got 4 tries. So Wicklow got 3 tries. So we got a point more. So we got 3 points out of the game, which I suppose is better than 2, or definitely better than none. But nonetheless, we needed the 4 or 5 really to try and give ourselves a fighting chance of getting out of the bottom 2 towards the end of the season. So yeah, all to play for. I'll talk about the match now for a minute, but certainly I'll come back to the permutations that lie ahead of us for the next 3 matches, the remaining 3 matches. So the game, we started very, very well, and after about 5 minutes, Dara Cosgrave got the lucky bounce of the ball and caught it in his own 22 and ran to the line, the length of the field. So Adam Johnson converted. And we got another penalty 5 minutes later to put us 10 minutes ahead. Wicklow then replied and got a converted try with about 20 minutes gone into the match. We restored our lead then with another try from Jack Hanlon. It was actually a penalty try. Jack was tackled high, and that was a penalty try. So into the second half then, Wicklow took the lead with 2 tries, one from Joel Bernard and then Mackenzie. So we restored our lead then with a Jack McDonald try, and we were 3 points up then with about a good section of the match to left, 15 minutes left, and we held out. It looked like we were holding out, and then with the last play, a silly mistake gave Wicklow a penalty, and it was fair. It wasn't a gimme. It was out. It was centre of the field, all right, but out near the halfway, and they slotted it to draw the match with the last play of the game. And you could see the body language of the players afterwards and the coaches, that that was one that got away. We certainly, it was very, very close, obviously, but it was one that that was in our hands, I suppose, and let it slip. So yeah, 3 points, and the situation now is that we are in second from the bottom. We're a point behind a tie, who are and they're another point behind Wicklow. So Wicklow are on 27, a tie on 26, and we are on 25. And the three teams, you would say, have a kind of similar run-ins. Tullow have to play the two league leaders, Suttonians and Byrne, both away. Suttonians tomorrow, Saturday, and the last match of the season away to Byrne. And in between that, we have Wexford at home, which you'd try and fancy yourselves against Wexford in that one anyway, although we lost to them in our match down there. The interesting thing about the run-in is that the three top teams now are Tullamore, Byrne and Suttonians, and they are running very, very close to each other, and they are likely to be playing right up to the final Saturday, which means that there'll be no gimmies of matches that we have left. So, for example, if our last match is against Byrne, and if Byrne had the League One at that stage, you'd say you might have a chance. But the way it's looking now, the three top teams will be still fighting it out on the last day. So it'll mean there'll be no easy matches. The other interesting match next Saturday, apart from, and I'll come back to ours in a minute, but on tomorrow, the other two teams have to play each other that we're vying with. So a tie are away to Wicklow tomorrow, and that'll be an interesting one from our point of view. So it doesn't mean that we'll jump ahead of one of them, because we're away to Suttonians, who are second from top at the moment, behind Byrne. So yeah, nothing simple there. Nothing simple. So we'll be watching the other games with huge interest. Obviously, I said last week that Carlow have Wicklow in the cup in Carlow, and we said we might get some pointers for them. But no, they played well. I think a draw was a fair result. We can't have any complaints. There was very little between the two sides, so I've no intelligence or inside information, Tom, for you with the upcoming cup in mind.
That'd be an interesting game, Paddy, between the tie and Wicklow in Wicklow.
It really will, yeah. I think I'd nearly fancy a tie. A tie are going better at the moment. They had a big win over Sea Point last week, and they seem to be improving at this stage of the league. But it's very hard to know. It's in the fact, as you said, Tom, it's in Wicklow. We'll probably level the playing pitch a little bit, but that game will tell us a lot about the relative standings, all right. But I think a tie seem to be improving at the moment. The other big team improving in our division, of course, is Tullamore. They're after climbing right up, and they're in second place at the moment, behind Byrne and Sidonia, and there's only 3 points between the three of them. And now Suttonians have a game in hand. Their game against Wicklow or Wexford last week was called off because of the pitch being unplayable, and I think they're going to be playing that next week. But it's that will be an interesting one, all right, Tom.
That Tullamore team are after getting back a few players. There's a couple there's one or two, but one back from Australia, and there's a couple of lads back from GA as well. That's a lot stronger team now than it was. Like you'd have to look at them even now for as one of the favourites for Town's Cup.
Yeah, I mentioned that last week, that we found them a much tougher proposition than when we played them above in Tullamore. So yeah, they certainly have improved as the season went on. And I think I mentioned last week, talking to some of the Tullamore boys, when they were in the AIL, the one thing they missed was the buzz of the Towns Cup. So they will be really licking their lips heading into the Towns Cup. I'm not sure who they have in the second round, but they will be. I agree with you totally, Tom. They certainly will be one of the favourites for the Towns Cup.
Definitely. After looking at the team sheet from last week from them, I definitely have them as one of the favourites for.
Yeah, the two Farrells playing there. I think their father's a Caravan, and they're two outstanding players, the full back and a centre. I don't know. I don't think they were playing the first day against us, and the two of them were really stood out against us. Yeah, so
Strongs. One of them actually played with us for a season. He was down this direction doing a bit of farming. He was very good, and his brother is the two of them are class players. Both of them are really good footballers. Thereafter, both of them are now back on the team.
Yeah, they certainly made a difference. It certainly made a difference. Yeah. So yes, Stephen, tomorrow, Saturday, all roads from a Tullow point of view lead to Suttonians, which is North Dublin, and as I said, they're going pretty strong at the moment. They didn't play last week because of that match against Wexford being postponed, but Tullow's backs are definitely to the wall after not winning last Saturday. But still, it's a tall order to go up to Suttonians and try and win that match. So it'll be more in hope than expectation. Will be going up there. So we have the first and the seconds. The seconds are playing at 1:30, and the first is at 3:00. So we're back to 3 p.m. kickoffs now. I see. So we're at that time of the year again, and the business end of the season when we go back to 3 p.m. kickoffs. Yeah. So that's where we are. So the rest of the fixtures for the weekend are from the youth's point of view. It's cup time mostly. Tonight in Tullow, our under-17s are in the Leinster Cup against Wexford at home on the 3G. Tomorrow, then the under-13s are away to Dundalk in the McGowan Cup. The under-14s are home to Mullingar in the Leinster Cup, and the under-14 Rhinos are home to Ashbourne Balbriggan at 1:00 in the Leinster Cup. Our under-16 Rhinos are away to Ashbourne Balbriggan again tomorrow in the Leinster Cup. The under-18 boys are in a big top-of-the-table clash in the Premier League, are away to Navan. So that's a big one from a Premier League point of view. Our under-18 Rhinos are home to Wexford and Blackgates in the Leinster Cup again. That's 11:00 tomorrow. And on Sunday, our under-16 boys are playing in the Leinster Cup again at home to RD in the Blackgates at 12. So they're nearly a full round of youths matches in the league. Our AIL women have a tough one again. They're home to Blackrock College, who are high-flying at the moment, and that's in the Blackgates at 5 p.m. And as I said, the J1s and J2s men's are away to Suttonians tomorrow at 1:30 and 3 p.m. Respectively. So a fairly busy weekend and a lot of cup action coming up, Stephen, at this weekend. So that's really all from Tullow. Next Tuesday night, we're having an open information evening to tell everybody who's interested, particularly our members and committee people, about our plans for our new clubhouse. So we are fundraising at the moment and trying to access grants. We've got full planning permission, and work will proceed as soon as the season is over. The work will proceed in demolishing the existing dressing room unit and starting to build a replacement dressing rooms and a clubhouse on the first floor over the dressing rooms. So that work will commence, all going well, as soon as our season finishes. So there was an information meeting to tell everybody what the plans are and show them the plans next Tuesday at 10 at 7:30 in the clubhouse on the Tuesday the 10th of February. So that's the roundup, Stephen, from what's happening in Tullow.
Perfect. Thanks a million for that, Paddy. Good stuff. Paddy, your boat didn't go drifting in Graignamanagh last week after.
I was quite lucky, and I think I mentioned that I was doing a Teresa Mannion on it and out in the rain, but I was lucky to escape. And as I said, some good Samaritan came along and tied up my boat when I was in Portugal and put a new rope on it. And only for that, I could have been in trouble. And I presume everybody subsequent to that saw the other boat, the Valerie, down well below St. Mullins, and it was incredible footage. This guy came out and tied himself to it and brought it back up to St. Mullins and tied it up there in St. Mullins where it is to now. But the fact that boat crossed over 3 weirs on its way down from Graignamanagh to there, it was quite a journey for Valerie on its way down to nearly the ferry bridge. Certainly, Powell Mounty, I think, is the name of the place that got as far as before it was rescued.
It's mad. I was running this morning and I was looked into the barrow there, just a Grey Cullen Bridge, and that poor owl boat, the back of it is underwater. See it?
Yeah.
Little
Oh,
cruiser.
Oh
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
standing on Greg Bridge now, you can see that.
God knows where that came from.
Yeah, I was thinking, Tom, we were looking for a rope. I think it's tied on there somewhere at the top, but it's hard to know. But yeah, there was a lot of things cut loose and all that. But hopefully everyone got out safe from it anyway. I know it did a lot of damage to houses and everything, but hopefully everyone gets looked after anyway and gets some sort of compensation, I suppose, from the government or whatever to get stuff repaired or whatever needs to be done anyway. It caused a lot of upheaval, and there's more rain, of course, this weekend. We're recording this on a Friday, but still a lot to come now in Dublin, Wicklow and places like that. That's grand. Thanks for that, Paddy. We'll move on to Carlow there now and on to Tom. Tom, you're at home to Dundalk this weekend, and the women are in action as well.
Yeah, no game last weekend, Stevens. We had a pleasant weekend off at last. So,
Lovely.
Made the most of the old bank holiday. Yeah, our J1s and J2s are playing Dundalk. J1s are playing at 3 o'clock, and J2s are playing at 1:30. A big game, a really big game for both teams. Dundalk are table toppers. We lost by 1 point to them up there. One of the 3 games that we lost by a point that we'll probably look back and regret over. But yeah, it's going to be a tough game. I know they'll be coming down and hoping that if they win there, if they beat us, they'll probably have the league sewn up. So they'll be coming down with intent to win that, and we're going out to, as I said, that there is very slim chances of getting into the playoff place, but we have to keep the belief going. And just try and win our last 3 games and see how the permutations of the other games happen. But the thing is, it won't happen for us if we don't beat Dundalk. They're a good side, very good side. They're well drilled. Have an in-house coach has done amazing work with them over the last 2 to 3 seasons. So look. We've nearly a full side. Couple of just 1 or 2 injuries. Conor Tracy's just out with a hamstring injury. He's been niggling him at him for the last couple of weeks, but look, he's taken a week out because we'll also need him for the cup. So just trying to manage players at this time of the season. And Dan Gray is winger is out. He just has a niggle in his shoulder, just getting an MRI. So we're just waiting for. Hopefully he'll be all right. But it's been kind of niggling at him for a while, so hopefully he'll get past fit again after this. But look, as I said, we've a full strength side going out. We know what we have to do. There's nothing that isn't in plain black and white. We either win. If we win, we keep ourselves in a slim chance of doing it. But if we don't, if we lose, we're probably going to end up probably third from the top, providing we win their last 2 games. But I think the lads are fairly fired. We had 2 good training sessions this week. There was over 50 lads training on both nights, which was amazing with the weather. Our J2s have a massive game against Dundalk. If they're top of the table, ahead by a couple of points. But if they can beat Dundalk at the weekend, they'll have a far greater chance of taking home that cup at the end of the league. It'll give them, as I said, they've been playing really well. The training has been excellent. They actually were making a show of the first team for the last couple of weeks at times of training. So this week was the first time and the first get a little bit back at them. So there was a bit of niggle last night, which we love to see. 2 teams hopping off each other and lads fighting for positions, and so it was. It has been, as I said, a good week of prep. All we can do now is hopefully get the 2 wins, and we're looking for as much support as we can for those, because especially for the seconds, because as I said, we'd love to have a chance of winning that seconds league. As I said, they're a couple of points ahead, but if they could just get the win on this one, it would give them a bit of security, a bit more daylight at the top, hopefully, and with 2 games to play, they hope that they could go out and win it outright. So wish them the best of luck. We've our that's really from the first and the second. There, our under 23s are at home on Saturday to Tala. They're enjoying Metro 8. It's for the lads, a couple of it's for kind of the younger players, and a few guys want to play. We call it under 23, so it's under 23 straight J3s. But they've had a couple of really good games and a couple of fine young lads playing on that team. But they've Tala at home. It was supposed to be away, but they've Tala at home on Saturday at 3 p.m. So we're looking forward to that. That should be a bit of fun. There's always a bit of entertainment. At J3 level, the ball is just thrown around, and there's no structure, as the French would say. It's just jouer.
But fired around it will.
Well, that's it. Look, that's why lads are doing it. So it's a bit of crack, and and also it gives us the chance to have a look at some of the younger players and lads that are on the fringes for our J2 team. Our ladies have a real tough one. They're playing CYM at home on Sunday at 1 p.m. CYM are fighting for top position in the league. They bet them well up there, but we hope that they don't travel too. We hope that they don't travel too well. But look, as I said, this year it's kind of a learning curve for us because their first, after getting promoted last year into Division 4, it's the first year that we're actually kind of getting to play a proper 15 aside. Last year there was a load of games played with 13 aside and 12 aside, but this year all the games have genuinely been kind of 15 aside. So the girls are getting a good learning experience, and there's a good little bit of talent there too. And they're recruiting friends. Girls are bringing in their friends, and a couple of giants just out. They just wanted to come up and try it out. So look, it's not they're good crack. As I said, that they're an enjoyable season, and they're a pleasure to have in the club, and they do star work when anything we ask. There's always a few of them involved. So we wish them the best of luck on Sunday. As I said, it's a tough one, but hopefully they'll get through it. Go on to the youth. I suppose just a couple of results from last week. There wasn't a whole lot played. They're on 13s who were developing nicely. They were they're very tight in numbers, but they're starting to recruit again. And as I said, they hadn't massive numbers coming up from under 12s. Just swings around about with age group. Sometimes you have an age group has a heap of players, and the following year you could have an age group that struggles. But the under 13s, and they're coached by Evan, I have to get this right, Evan Gordon and John Lyons, the 2 senior players, are enjoying a bit of a season with them, and since they've come in and helped out, their numbers have increased, and they're starting to enjoy it. But it's a narrow enough win or loss over against Blessington. The under 14s again seem to be on a bit of a winning streak at the moment. Touch wood now, but they beat Navan away 22-7. Our under 15s was postponed. Under 16s had no game. Our under 18s had a bit of a stonking in Kilkenny. Kilkenny bet them. That was 38-0. So not ideal, but they're a very young side. As I said, we didn't get a whole lot. We don't have a whole lot of the actual 18 or 18 and a half, the actual half year. So we're kind of coming up against teams that have, a few older players on it, and that's where they're struggle. But when they play well, they're a good side, and I think they will develop over the next 2 seasons. It's the end of this season and into next season. But at the moment, I said they're kind of struggling a little bit, probably with size and age. Our games where Paddy went through the Rhino fixtures. Our boys then under 13s are away to Navan on Sunday at 1:30. The under 14s are away to Portlaoise on Saturday. These are all cup games, Leinster Cup games. It's a cup weekend. So under 15s are home to Edenderry tonight at 8 p.m, which we'll go up and see. And they've had got a new set of jerseys to compliment them on. Well sponsored. So anyone going up tonight will we'll see the launch of their new jersey. The under-16s are away to Kilkenny on Saturday at 10:30, and our under-18s are home to Edenderry on Saturday at 1 p.m. And that is really it from Carlow. It was a quiet weekend last weekend, which was lovely.
Absolutely.
There's rugby on the telly with the feet up, and that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bit of rugby on tonight as well. The Irish 15 selection, or the Ireland A's as we call them.
What's that on,
Steve? Tom, on the spot now. I think I
Yeah,
have
I have to put you on the
7:15
spot.
in my
I
head.
don't know myself.
7:15. I could be wrong now.
Is it on telly?
Yeah, I think so. Do you know what? I have the phone here on the computer. I'm going to check while we're chatting these. I'm going to do Kilkenny's news now in a second, lads, as well. I have a few notes on what's going on there this weekend. And we'll see what the story is. Are you heading up to the Italy match next week?
Yeah, I'm heading up anyway. Yeah. So
Yeah.
after last night, maybe more in hope than expectation again. But hopefully they'll be able to get their act together again. The heads are down after last night.
Yeah, you'd be a bit afraid of Italy too. They've improved a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they're playing Scotland this weekend, aren't they? So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to get this Ireland A news. Here we are. Now, 7:15 is live on Premier Sports and Irish Rugby Plus online.
Oh, great.
So, Stephen, you were right on both counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done, Stephen. Well, that's what I know what I'm doing tonight now, or I can't now, because I promised to be watching the under-15s.
There you are. Tom, he's thrown in on the phone there, if you have it on the phone. Throw it on the phone there if you have it, if you're fancy that way. My wife was at college last night and she had the phone on with the Ireland-French match sort of running along, glancing over every now and again. Just on news, we'll have it on Thursday. This weekend in Kilkenny, the senior men, the first and seconds, they have a big trip. They're both heading to Kerwin Park to face Salle Palmerston. So the seconds, of course, kick off at 1:30. That's followed by the first at 3:00. The under-18 boys are on the road early. They have a 12 o'clock kick-off against Skerries. That's in the Darcy Cup. The under-14, under-18 girls, they're all at home. The under-14 girls host Midland Warriors, and the under-18 girls welcome Greystones to Fookstown. They're both starting at 12, and the under-16 girls wrap up the Saturday home slate with a cup game against Mullingar at 2. On Sunday then, you have the senior women in action. They are at home in Fookstown as well. They're hosting Ashbourne with a 1 o'clock kickoff. So if you're heading down to Fookstown, there's plenty of action on this weekend. There's also an IRFU initiative, Respect Our Game weekend, for February 6th to 8. The focus is on respecting volunteers and officials. I think this is for all the clubs. So it's basically give the unsung heroes, the refs, the jersey washers, tea makers, whatever, a shout, buy them a coffee or a tea or whatever, and try and keep the sideline as positive as you can. There's a girls triple header in Fookstown tomorrow, Saturday, so you'll be able to do that as well. Just some more news announced for Kilkenny or for Fookstown. The grounds are going to host Kilkenny's Relay for Life 2026 this year. So that's going to happen on July the 4th on the grounds there on the Waterford Road. So save the date for that one as well. That's some news from Kilkenny in the absence of Mr. Blanchfield. So that's it now. I hope that news was right anyway. And my research didn't lead me astray. You're looking a bit funny at me there. So.
No. James normally has it right. So
yeah. That's it. We'll be back next week, lads. We'll be able to review the 15s, well, our own games anyway, and how the Ireland A's got on. They'll be training for Italy as well and prepping for that, so we can see what team news comes out as well and see what happens there. But yeah, lots of rugby on, and don't forget to throw the fee up tonight, Friday night, if you're listening to the podcast, and see what the next generation are like coming through as well. Max Deegan, I think, is the captain for the 15s tonight as well. Interesting lineup. We'll see how they go. Other than that, we'll catch you next week.
Very good.
Have a good one. Go well the weekend, lads, and stay safe.
Take care. See you, Stephen. See you, Tom.